'Twas a Dark and Dreary Night by Patrick F. McManus. Back during my single-digit ages, I often thought about running away and joining the French Foreign Legion. The uniform was nice, and I liked the idea of riding horses and camels across the desert. Only one thing bothered me. I wondered if the legionnaires were issued night lights. My love of adventure had its limits. I realized, of course, that the fear of darkness was a serious flaw in my character. Since my character was riddled with flaws anyway, I didn't worry much about one more. Nevertheless, I didn't want my friends to find out I was afraid of the dark, and I went to great lengths to keep my secret from them. Take, for instance, the time Ronnie Dittmeyer came out to our farm to spend the night with me. Ronnie had no sooner set foot in our house than he came up with a suggestion that he and I sleep out in the backyard. "Yeah, well," I said. "Sure. In the dark, you mean? Sleep out. That would be fun. You don't mind a lot of black widow spiders crawling over you, do you, Ronnie?" "You got black widow spiders in your yard?" Patting my hair back down, I attracted a few premature goosebumps. Unfortunately, my evil sister, the troll, overheard our conversation and rushed to put her oar in and roil the waters. "What are you telling Ronnie? There are no black widow spiders in our yard, you silly." "There are too," I said nervously. "Ma," the troll roared, "are there any black widow spiders in the yard?" Mom, ever ready to rush to my defense, stuck her head out of the kitchen. "No, of course not. Where did you ever get a dumb idea like that?" "See?" the troll said. "Oh, I thought there were," I said, smiling weakly at Ronnie. "Good, so we can sleep out in the yard tonight after all." "I can't think of any reason why not. Unless you happen to be bothered by poisonous snakes. Ever seen anybody get snake bit? First, they swell up into a great big horrible ball. Then they turn blue and green and yellow. And then it starts to get real bad. My dad says there aren't any poisonous snakes around here, so we don't have to worry about that." "Oh, I thought we did." "Of course not," the troll put in. "There aren't any snakes around here, not even when it's dark," she cackled trollishly. "Ma," I yelled, "the troll is bothering us. Tell her to leave us alone." "Now, don't refer to your sister as a troll," my mother said. "Now, Trudy, get out of there and leave the boys alone." The troll backed out of the room slowly, grinning evilly. "Hope you have fun sleeping out in the dark. The weather report in the paper says there's going to be heavy darkness all night tonight." Just my luck. Heavy darkness. I considered asking Ronnie to take an oath of secrecy and then confessing to him my disgusting fear of darkness. He would probably understand. "I'll tell you something weird," Ronnie said. "I tried to get Fred Phelps to sleep out with me one night. He said he couldn't. He said he was afraid of the dark. A big guy like Fred, you wouldn't expect him to be a yellow-bellied chicken, would you? He even tried to get me to take an oath of secrecy not to tell anybody." So much for that idea. "What say we turn in?" Ronnie asked. "It's already getting dark out." I noticed. I glanced longingly up at the house, the lights of which were being flicked off one by one as my mother made her final rounds. She opened the back door and called out, "I'm going to bed now. Are you boys all right?" "Yep," Ronnie said. "Yup," I said. Mom went back inside, and minutes later, the last light on our side of the house was flicked off. Ronnie and I were in total darkness. And not just the well-defined cube of darkness that filled a bedroom, but a great shapeless ocean of night. You ever heard the story about the stranger who got himself hung for claim jumping, and his ghost still wanders these parts looking for revenge? Yeah, I heard it. Well, my pa seen that ghost crossing a field right out this way one night. Foggy it was, he said, and idea! Why hadn't I thought of it before? I leaped out of the covers and told Ronnie I'd be right back. "I forgot to brush my teeth," I said, rushing towards the house. In the bathroom, I jerked the string on the overhead light, waited an appropriate length of time, and then sauntered back outside. Perfect. The light from the bathroom window cast a nice rectangular patch of light right next to my side of the hay tarp. You left the bathroom light on, Ronnie said. Rats, if that doesn't beat all. Oh well, a little light won't hurt anything. This ghost story's better if it's plumb dark out. Anyway, this ghost. He droned on about the ghost and its horrible doings. I smiled sleepily, starting to drift off as I secretly stroked the grassy patch of protective light, occasionally turning to admire in all its loveliness. Suddenly, an ominous shadow appeared in my patch of light. What? I turned and looked up at the bathroom window. No! There, framed in the window, stood the troll. She was in silhouette, so I couldn't see her face, but I know she was grinning her evil grin as she stared down in my direction. Slowly, her hand reached for the light string. No! Don't do it! Her hand made several teasing motions with the light string, and then, zap! The light was gone. Faintly up in the darkness, I could hear the hollow sound of trollish laughter. She would have already locked all the doors to the house by now. Trolls are nothing if not thorough. So now I had nothing to do but suffer the night away. For me, the troll had murdered any hope of sleep. A friendly wind swept back the clouds, and I noticed several little black shapes flitting about among the stars. And after the ghost got done with the two boys, Ronnie was saying, "Hey, what are those black shapes flitting about among the stars?" "Just some bats." "Bats? I can't stand bats. Quick, let's go inside." Too late. The troll's already locked all the doors." What do we do?" "Well, I don't mind bats myself, but if they scare you, you can hide under the covers. I know they like to crawl under the covers sometimes, but if I see any try it, I'll drive them off." I studied the quivering lump under the blanket. I'm going to be awake anyway.